From BBC Learning English, this is Learning English from the News, our podcast about the news headlines.
In this programme, Israel-Iran strikes. The conflict continues.
Hello, I'm Phil.
And I'm Georgie.
In this programme, we look at one big news story and the vocabulary in the headlines that will help you understand it.
You can find all the vocabulary and headlines from this episode, as well as a worksheet on our website, bbclearningenglish.com.
So, let's hear more about this story.
Israel launched an attack on Iran last Friday, targeting nuclear and military facilities.
The strikes killed several senior Iranian military commanders and Iranian nuclear scientists.
Iran then retaliated with missile attacks targeting Israel.
Iran's health ministry said at least 224 people have been killed in the Israeli strikes,
while Israel says Iranian attacks have killed 24 people.
Let's have our first headline. Iran launches new missile barrage. Israel claims assassination of top general. And that's from the Palestine Chronicle.
And that headline again from the Palestine Chronicle. Iran launches new missile barrage. Israel claims assassination of top general.
This headline is about missile strikes by Iran against Israel in response to Israel's strikes against Iran, which began on Friday, and Israel's killing of a senior military official. We're looking at this word barrage. Iran launches new missile barrage. What is a barrage?
Well, the specific use in the context of war is a heavy and continuous use of things like guns or bombs. So a missile barrage means a country is sending lots of missiles at once.
Now, this is obviously a serious use, but we can also use a barrage of something in more everyday contexts to mean a large amount of something that comes all at once. For example, the new employee sent her boss a barrage of questions via email.
Yes, or I turned my phone off last night and woke up to a barrage of text messages.
Whether it's being used literally or metaphorically, barrage has this sense that it's an overwhelming amount of something. It's too much all at once. So it often seems quite negative.
We've had barrage, a large amount of something that comes all at once.
For example, the TV show received a barrage of complaints after the presenter made an offensive comment.
This is Learning English from the News from BBC Learning English. We're talking about the Israel-Iran strikes.
As we've mentioned, Israel's strikes targeted Iran's nuclear and military facilities.
Satellite images have shown us that the strikes have damaged structures at 2 missile sites as well as an airport runway.
Let's have another headline, and this is from CNN. Israel's strikes zeroed in on Iran's nuclear program. How much damage was done?
And that headline again. Israel's strikes zeroed in on Iran's nuclear program. How much damage was done? And that is from CNN.
So, this headline is about those Israeli strikes against Iran's nuclear program. This time, we're looking at this phrase, zero in on. What can you tell us?
So this is another phrase which has a specific military meaning and a more everyday meaning as well. So in this context, it's about aiming a weapon at a particular target. Israel's strikes are aiming at Iran's nuclear program. They've zeroed in on it, according to the headline.
In a more everyday sense, zero in on means to focus all your attention on something. For example, imagine you're in a work meeting. Everyone is sharing lots of ideas, but you need to focus on one solution and work on it.
Yes, you might say, OK, let's zero in on Beth's idea and come up with a plan.
We've had zero in on. Focus all your attention on something.
For example, the government has said they will zero in on youth unemployment this year. It's their main focus.
This is Learning English from the News, our podcast about the news headlines. Today, our story is Israel-Iran strikes.
Shortly after the start of the Israel-Iran strikes, there was a G7 summit in Canada, a meeting between 7 major industrialized countries.
US President Donald Trump left early. France's President Emmanuel Macron said Trump did this to work on a ceasefire deal between Israel and Iran, but Trump denied there was any connection.
And we have a headline about this. It's from France 24. Trump says early G7 exit nothing to do with Macron's remarks on Israel-Iran ceasefire offer.
That headline again. Trump says early G7 exit nothing to do with Macron's remarks on Israel-Iran ceasefire offer. And that's from France 24.
So this headline says Trump's exit has nothing to do with a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. And we're looking at this phrase, to do with. To do with. 3 words that everyone knows. But together, the phrase is a bit strange, isn't it?
Yes. To do with means about or connected to. And here it says nothing to do with, which means it's not connected to. So Trump said that his early exit is not connected with a ceasefire. It's nothing to do with a ceasefire.
Okay, another example. This podcast is about the news. It has nothing to do with cooking. It's all to do with the news headlines and vocabulary.
That's right. So we can add words to do with. Nothing to do with. All to do with. Something to do with. Everything to do with.
And you can hear to do with in combination with has got, and is.
Yeah, this is a really useful phrase, isn't it? We use it a lot in everyday speech. Now, my laptop hasn't been working very well today.
Yeah, neither is mine. I think it's something to do with the new software.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the Wi-Fi because my phone's working fine.
We've had to do with, about or connected to.
For example, I'm not sleeping very well lately. I think it's something to do with the heat. That's it for this episode of Learning English from the News. We'll be back next week with another news story.
If you've enjoyed this programme, try the worksheet on our website to test what you've learnt, bbclearningenglish.com.
You can also find us on social media, just search for BBC Learning English. Bye for now.
Goodbye.